off of that.
Now I'm curious, what's your other than your complete support for it because it might split up MAGA, the America Party, Elon Musk,
right?
between you and me, you know what I call it? The H-1B visa party.
Right.
Because that's really that's what it's going to boil down to.
Mm-hmm.
So Elon, now here's the thing. Good luck, Elon. You might be able to get a few seats in Congress, but it's going to cost you $250 million to do it. You're the richest guy in the world, so you can burn some cash if you want, but really his aligning with a Republican candidate that's going to take the White House, which I see him doing again in 2028. I'll see him jumping on with Vance hard because that has been the best return bang for his buck in terms of political investments was the money he put into Trump. It literally got him standing there in the White House and overseeing the Doge.
But backfire
destruction. Yeah, in the end, it didn't go as far as he wanted to, but
I would say it went.
You don't succeed.
It went the opposite direction. Look at his Tesla stock. He's,
Oh no, I'm talking about government money cuts. Yeah, when you jump into politics.
Yeah, but all of that comes together. Yeah, all of that comes together. Now people who loved him hate him. People who I don't think he understood how much his customer base was liberals, right? Who thought they were doing something good for the planet by buying his products. And now they're not.
Way to sell that same product to the conservative end of the political
spectrum. Yeah, you would think so, right? But Trump is now anti-EV. So, and he's been anti-EV this whole time. So even though he bought...
Well, no, it's kind of like J.K. Rowling. She found a way to sell her book to the far lefties of the world a few decades ago. And then when she had sold all the books she was going to sell over there, she flipped it around and now all the right-wingers seem to love her. And now she's selling Harry Potter stuff to them. Elon did the same thing.
But here's the thing. Conservatives are not buying Teslas. That's the thing.
Definitely not the numbers that liberals were.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, yeah,
exactly.
They are, which is okay. I'll give you this. I've actually seen a handful of Tesla Cybertrucks riding around on Nebraska highways, and boy, let me tell you, that's a head turner. When you see one of those, because you don't expect to see that. But yeah, I'm starting to actually see handful of Teslas.
But you should be saying, but to be fair, you should be saying a lot more than a handful at this point because of the sheer numbers he was going to pump out. He's not. They're not selling. I mean, I see them too occasionally around here too, but they're not selling at the numbers that they were supposed to. Q1 2025, he sold 6,400.
Know what?
Q2, he sold 5,000 units.
The fact that it can self-drive is actually a big turn off. Yeah. Okay, it's so that thing can just drive, the one that blew up in front of Trump Tower.
Okay. What was that Stephen King novel about the car that could, that it had a life of its own?
I'm thinking of Knight Rider, but I know that's not it.
No, it's the car would just run around murdering people is what would happen in creative ways.
Some terrorist used it to make some sort of statement. I don't want anything that's self-driving.
It's called Christine.
Oh, okay.
You remember that movie?
Never seen it.
Christine, it was a horror movie. It was a novel first, but yeah.
My favorite Stephen King horror movie was actually The Langoliers. I thought it was misunderstood. Now, granted, The Mist, that was probably the best production for a Stephen King movie, even though it was still kind of a weird, and boy, the ending, that's heavy. That's one of those, you only need to watch that movie once.
Right.
Because the ending's just too heavy. But Stephen King, I don't know, he's another guy, another great example of when you're in entertainment, maybe don't make political statements, because now every Republican hates Stephen King. Okay, Republicans don't buy his books, they don't read his stuff.
He's still a best-selling. Yeah, it's still. Yeah, they said that about Superman. They said Superman was too woke. It's not going to make any money. It just made its entire budget in one weekend.
I was about to say, it's Superman. Okay, people like a Superman movie. Now, I don't know if it's woke or not. I haven't actually seen the movie, so I couldn't.
It's about an illegal immigrant who's, undocumented, who's a refugee from Krypton,
So basically, the plot for the movie Coneheads back in the 90s.
Yeah. No.
Like, no, I loved that movie. That's I am sorry to report, I am an illegal alien. Like
Yeah.
that was hilarious. And ICE was trying to deport them. And they're trying to figure out a way to deport them to back.
It's really funny that Dean Cain, who's like a conservative, he was played Superman in the '90s or whatever,
Yep.
and he was saying he thought it was too woke or whatever because of the immigration stuff. And they went and found a clip of his old Superman show where the reporters ask him for his green card, and he like rolls his eyes at them or whatever. So like, Superman had these comments about immigration like since the beginning. Siegel and Schuster, who created Superman, they were refugees, Jewish refugees, who wanted to create a character after the Holocaust who was himself a refugee from another planet or whatever. Uh, because, the Jews were refugees back then. They nobody would take them. And so they wanted to have a character where people could see that he was like contributing to society or whatever, and that he was welcome, in this new country that was not his own and stuff like that.
And then ironically, it's basically canon that Superman was a Kansas Methodist or maybe non-denominated, but like, yeah,
Basically, yeah.
yeah, he was basically raised with like.
I always saw him as a Lutheran, but yeah, I could see Methodist.
Well, I always say that because all my family from Kansas are Methodist, and so that's just kind of what I associate with, like that kind of like moderate normie Christian church where it's a little bit like, because Lutheran very institutional, okay, like it's very high church, but like Methodist is like love everybody, kumbaya. Like there's a reason why the United Methodist Church.
No, you're right. Methodist makes more sense for Superman. Come to think of it, because they're a little more relaxed than Lutherans.